Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, and I'll turn on the recording here also for our viewers that may not be able to attend otherwise. So now that you guys can all have our basics set up, meaning you guys can hear me well and can see the desktop, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Subjit Singh. I'm the faculty for Intro to SQL course at the Enza College. So my agenda today, guys, is mostly to talk about the course syllabus and get you ready for the first assignment. Few technical details as we start. Some of you may be attending the online course for the first time. So, few basic things are, if you want to ask a question, please do so in chat room. And I will answer your questions as we go along. Lectures are recorded and made available for replay. So you're welcome to, of course, watch these as many times as you want. All the links will be made available on Catalyst. And one thing that people have been asking me quite a bit before the course started is if they need to know Unix to do well in this course. And you do not need to know Unix to succeed in this course, although there are one or two basic things that I will teach you. So those will be covered, in fact, today and then again. And I want to also make clear that for database access, details to be talked about today. So hold off your questions on how to access the database. For database access, I'll cover the details today, but if you guys need one-on-one assistance, it is available. We just have to, you just have to let me know, and I'll set up a web conference call like this one and walk you through it with your account. So I want to go ahead and get started and tell you about the course details. If you guys have signed up for the course today, then getting access to Catalyst might take you a day or so. So just please be patient and you will certainly get the access. So we're on with Spring. It's here are some details about the course and what you will learn. And chime in with questions, please. I like an interactive class. So we'll talk a little bit about course content, assignments, how you're graded, how are the exams held, what book you need to buy, and how are the weekly discussions run. So this course is part of a database sequence that we have at the Enza. And As you can see, this is the second course in the sequence, which is Intro to SQL. We have other courses, and you can read read the details of the course outline. But SQL as a programming language is a very popular skill that is required in the industry for anything that you want to do with relational databases. SQL is the language to go with. So here's what we'll be doing in this course. You'll be understanding the features of the database. So when I refer to the database features, I am focusing on it's getting to know database architecture, meaning what the inside of a database looks like. It's also getting to know how to do database layout, meaning creating tables, etc. How to set up relationships between tables, and then also working with DML statements or SQL statements as we call it. So the next thing in that bullet is talking about working with SQL statement to restrict and sort data using functions, joins, grouping data and writing subqueries. And then formatting data, creating database objects, and setting up database security. What I don't have on the slide, which I guess I should have added, is dealing with export-import utilities, because that's one of the most common functions you end up performing with database. So we already have a definition of a database in the chat room as a collection of data arranged in a specific format. That could be true for some databases, or that could be true for structured databases, but there are also some unstructured databases where necessarily the data may not be adequately formatted, but you still need to work with it. So from my perspective, there are three major parts in the course. One is learning how to do database design, learning SQL statement and particularly select statement. I tend to spend a fair amount of time on the select statement and different parts. And then focusing on insert, update, and delete operations. We spend a little bit of time on that. And we also spend time on create and alter statements for both table and index. And then, so this is these are two large chunks. And then we get into database utilities. This is like dealing with import, export, security of the database, and also database transactions. There is certainly a lot to learn, and the course is fairly comprehensive to get you enough knowledge so you can look for a role of a report analyst pretty much after this course, if you end up understanding the language fairly well. So in terms of how you get graded, you'll have a total of 8 lab assignments, a midterm, and a final. So if the solutions in the assignments are accurate, you can pretty much get full points. You have to obviously provide adequate answers on time. So midterm and final are both online, and dates and times are published in the syllabus. And the way the distribution works for the grade is labs are 30%, midterm is 30%, and final is 40%. Exams are comprehensive, and there is the grading scale, so I follow that grading criteria. It's standard for entire college, so I just follow that. So exams are typically 2 hours in length, but I give you an extra hour in case you have downtime with internet or anything. You can complete those and then return within the 3-hour window. And mostly the exams are comprehensive. You read and write code, and in some cases there will also be questions on concepts that you'll end up addressing. On the textbook side, I have 2 books, SQL in a Nutshell or SQL Queries for Mere Mortals. So you can get one or both of them. These are both references, but it's important for you to have at least one so you can use that for as a backup in case my notes are not covering certain things. So these weekly discussions that I am hosting, Sadia, I would recommend going with SQL Queries for Mere Mortals. This is an O'Reilly book, but both of them are really good. If you want to focus a lot on the select statement, I would go with SQL Queries for Mere Mortals. For the weekly discussions, I would recommend attending these sessions because these can become fairly interactive as you see the format right now. But if your schedule doesn't permit, please make arrangements for at least taking the midterm and final at the stated time. And attend to the recordings that are posted. Now, recordings are automatically archived on CCC Confer's website. If you go under Archives and under Meet and Confer, if you just search for my name, you will find all the archives there. Just make sure that I've got a Java class also that I'm teaching, and I also have some old archives from a long time ago. You don't want to use those, of course, but I will also copy these links into Catalyst for your reference. So in case I'm a couple hours behind in posting, you can always go under the archives link, search for my last name, and you can find all the recordings under Meet and Confer. Because getting access to lectures is like probably one of the most critical things, and so I totally understand that. Are there any questions that you guys may have that I can help address at this time? This is everything about the course. I'm going to spend time separately talking about your accessing your Oracle account and so on. Are there any questions anybody may have at this time? Okay, so we'll keep moving. So the next thing I want to look at is your first assignment and how to work on that and the background information that would be required.